doing your own stunts, I guess in a drama it doesn't matter, but you know, kind of stunt guys are dramatic guys. They're hero people, you know, and I'm pathetic. You know, so if we're going after comedy, although it might be something that you can get killed on, it has to be done in a comedic way for the audience to laugh consistently, or for the audience to feel empathy and tragedy about the situation. They have to see the eyes. They have to see the person. You know, it's the same reason that you feel it about seeing even the very old movies of Chaplin or Keaton, because you see them doing this stuff. And regardless of all the you know, the digital technology and all the stuff you can have today, there's it works for drama, but it doesn't work for comedy, and it doesn't smell, you know, you sort of to superimpose something behind somebody. You can tell the lighting's always different, and no matter how many times you play with something, it's the reality of it that comes home. As a team that made Mr.Accident, is a team that that I always work with. We're kind of like, I guess we're kind of like a rock group, and we play the music together. I'm just a guy out the front doing the vocals or something. But it's the music that you create together, and people never want to talk about that. They always want the star here or something. But that's not the way it is. And I think if you look behind most successful kind of comedy people, there's always a tremendous team there that sort of holds everything together. I was so lucky with Mr.Accident because I think the cast is the heart of it, and with Helen Dallimore playing opposite Roger, we found for probably the first time in Australian cinema this sort of Gracie Allen meets Marilyn Monroe, a kind of dipsy blonde that plays it intelligent as well. I mean, you know, Helen's out there sort of you know, directing Ibsen and Shakespeare, and sort of approaching things in a terribly intellectual way, but she has the ability to sort of look at the profound through absolutely ridiculous and idiotic eyes. And the other great thing about I think the cast in general is they were all happy and as stupid as I was to do their own stunts. David feels incredible because he's usually cutting people to pieces in prison movies or something, and actually David's a very warm, gentle, terrific human being and a great physical comedian. So we got the opportunity to work together to bring out that side of him. When people leave Mr.Accident, and you know, hopefully they've had a few laughs, and they think about where we are as a human race, and either they're really disappointed or rather optimistic, and either way, you know, you can't do anything about it, right?
Boy meets girl. Let me think about this. Boy meets girl. Boy loses girl. Girl gets put in fridge. Girl gets thrown over balcony. You know, boy gets addicted to eggs. Baddie gets it, and boy gets girl back. You know, the usual story. Sunday's a bit like a magpie. She's attracted to bright, shiny objects. You know, she'll see something in a window and be like, yeah, that'd look good. She she doesn't really dress for anybody else or to make anybody else interested in her. She puts things on that make her feel good, and as a result, you know, she ends up with kind of a whole lot of stuff on because that's her favourite and that's her favourite and that's her favourite, and she can't go out the door without, you know, having them all with her, all her little friends.
Duxton Chevalier. Yeah, he's an anal retentive fridge lover, and he carries a portable axe in his bag. So I guess he's not dissimilar. I guess the closest character I can think of would be the Kathleen Turner character in Serial Mum, as I was saying to you earlier on, that wonderful thing of being incredibly friendly and loving to people until they chew gum in the house, and then really they should die. I think essentially entertainment. I mean, really, that's really the guts of it. That they get entertained with a love story that between Helen's character Sunday and Yahoo, and they get a lot of giggles really, because I think there's a lot of gags. Each of the scenes is, as you know, you've read the script, is constantly gagging on, and it's a very fast-paced film. It doesn't. When I read the script, I found myself, you know, and you know that's a good sign when you turn the pages quick. So everything's moving along at a pretty quick pace. I just hope they get a good giggle out of it, you know, and maybe underneath all that, at the end of the day, they might go, yeah, well, what is in the chicken, dear, you know. It just never stops. It's, you know, from the time he gets here, from the time he leaves, and he probably leaves 4 hours after I leave, you know, so it's just massive energy. I mean, he's completely and utterly inside what he's doing. He's completely committed, and which is, you know, fantastic, because I go home and I'm gone. I've had enough for the day, you know, and I know he's still here 3 hours later, you know, working out shots for the next day, or looking at the editing, or thinking about the scene, or, you know, talking to Warwick and, you know, whatever with the production, or rewriting. You know, he'll come in the next day and say, oh, last night I was up till about 1 or 2 o'clock, and I sort of rewrote a couple of things in the scene. Have a look at this, you know. So it's just, he never stops. You don't get to work with many eccentrics, so it's a good thing when you do. And I think someone who has to, you know, direct, produce, write, act in their film, it's a humongous job. And he seems to be able to break each of those compartments up when necessary, you know, for what he's got to do at the time, whether it be directing or... But yeah, you know, and as an actor, I actually find him, more than anything, that's the most exciting thing I'm actually finding, is because he's so incredibly vulnerable that that becomes dynamite to work with, because you're receiving a lot of stuff. So yeah, no, he's great. He's really good. Well, mate, I've been waiting 13 years to throw some tricks on screen, you know, because I trained as an acrobat when I first started acting. So this has been sort of a long time waiting to be able to do this sort of stuff. So yeah, every day that you've got to do something massively physical is you're terribly excited about it, you know, because you know we've got a great stunt man here, and the stunt team's fantastic, but it's a joy for them too, that they don't actually have to, you know, put on a wig and get the sideburns on and sort of paint themselves up and look like us. They actually got actors that can do the job for them and with them, you know, and so working closely with those guys to make sure everything's safe and all the rest of it. But they got a lot of faith in the actors as physical bodies, you know, who are capable of doing this stuff. So it's really exciting, very exciting.
He's an accountant, and moves very, very fast, and everything is precise, and he has his little notebook and his computer and everything, and it's... I I mean, I've had a ball. I've had a ball playing him. He's fantastic. It's been a great opportunity for me to be an idiot, basically. You know, there's moments of real emotion, and it gets very sad in this film at times, but then there are other times, working with Yahoo, which is great, that we can just go off and be ridiculously stupid. It's wonderful. I've had a ball. It's been great. The great thing about it is that the writer is at the source of, the writer is at my disposal continuously. There's the actor working alongside me, and he's the writer, and he's the producer, and he's the director. I don't have to go up to some office saying, can I change my line, or how do you feel about if my intention was this? All the people that I need to answer to are right there on set with me every day. So that's a luxury. I think that's the bonus. This movie is basically about eggs and about refrigeration and the universe, the beginning and end of life. And two of the central characters, Yahoo Serious' character of Roger, works in the egg factory, and I work in the egg factory as the accountant. And basically I'm trying to keep our jobs. The company seems to be crumbling around us, and I try and retain my job and keep Roger on at the same time. And keeping him employed is not quite as easy as keeping myself employed.
In being resourceful and in being lateral and doing things for real. I think we do things for real. We rely much less on digital effects and special effects the way a lot of films do. We tend to do things for real. If we need to have Yahoo standing on an aerial on the 29th floor of a building, that's where we take him, to the 29th floor, and we stick out an aerial and he stands on it, you know, rather than the blue screen stuff. So that's the only way we can get around it, is to try and do things for real. There's four of us essentially that make the film. Yahoo is the one that is out the front that everybody sees, but the other three that are behind the scenes are very much a part of the whole process. So the answer is yes. We're all involved in the writing. We sit around the Apple Macintosh and crack jokes, and somebody types them in, and we all throw a storyline around. Every process is like that with us. The comedic mix is very, very important, and with Helen Dallimore, who plays Sunday in the film, I don't think she's ever done a feature before, but she's a natural comic. She's fabulous. She's a little bit Marilyn Monroe, a little bit Bernadette Peters. We were lucky to find her, I think. And Grant Piro, who plays Lyndon, that's Roger's flatmate. Again. A natural comedian, and the blend of all four, I think, is something quite special.
When we write something, it's just the blueprint for all kinds of things that will happen later on. So nothing's carved in stone. Everything's always fluid. Every idea is always changeable. And the thing about working in the way that we do is that we change things right through to pretty well up to the time that the film is locked off. So that's just the way we make films. The character that Yahoo plays in Mr.Accident is an everyman, is a clumsy person, and one of the things about that is that we all have that inside of us. I think all of us have had kind of some terrible accidents that are somehow painful and funny at the same time. He plays a character that spent most of his life falling down, and suddenly he finds himself falling in love. And so you have the two sides. You have the very physical side to the comedy. You have the physical, painful side, but you also have the reality, the truth, and the pain of love. And it's those two things that play off each other in this film. That's one of the reasons that we really wanted to go for real and go truthful and honest, even in the physicality of the gags.